Hi, Chad here. I wanted to make a quick video just to share with those of you that really like GitHub's Atom editor how to get set up so you can start coding Clojure in Atom. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the Atom editor. I'm going to assume that you have already installed it and maybe set some basic settings and things like that. If you haven't, if you go to atom.io, that's the place to go to get the editor and to install it and all that kind of fun stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Preferences, and we are going to go to Packages. Actually, we're going to go to Install a new package. So what we're going to install is a package called proto-REPL. I'm just going to search for proto, and hopefully it's the first one. Okay, so we've got proto-REPL. So we're just going to click install, and while we're waiting for that for a second, this is going to allow you to launch a Clojure REPL right within Atom. You'll be able to interact and type code live in the REPL within that pane in Atom, and then you'll also be able to have a Clojure file open and evaluate code in that file in the REPL. It's really quite cool. That's really all you have to have. I'm going to install one other, I'll call it an optional package. It's par-infer, I believe is the correct pronunciation, because it infers closing parentheses based on an indentation. So basically this is like a way to kind of like auto balance and handle parentheses. Then it tries to be intelligent about where the parentheses should be wrapped in the code you're writing based on the indentation. It's kind of neat. If that doesn't make any sense, don't worry about it for now, and just do proto-REPL. So now we have to do just a teeny bit of configuration. So we're going to go to Packages, and we're going to click on proto-REPL, and we're going to just change one thing. We're going to set the line path. And by default, it just looks for the line command. For whatever reason, if you set it yourself manually, it seems to work a lot better and a lot more reliably. So I know the path, but I'm just going to kind of show you. If I open a terminal and I say which line and say nope, I don't want to change that, it's going to spit out the path for me, and it's user local bin line in my case. So I'm going to highlight that and copy it. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to paste that in. And now it's set. So the next step, I am going to close this untitled file, and I'm going to say Command O to open. And I'm going to go to Source and Clojure Bridge, and welcome to Clojure Bridge. And this is a repository. You can use any project of your own. This is a repository you can get online. If you go type in Clojure Bridge and look for it, it's a really cool workshop that is free for any women that are interested in learning Clojure, learning about programming and software engineering. It's really, really neat. So I took their example repository for fun. I am going to open that. Now if I press Command T, or you can just navigate and get there on your, in the structure of your project and get there on your own. I'm going to type in core.clj, and the file that I want is source welcome to Clojure Bridge core.clj. Okay, so now you can see that I've got my code open there. Now I'm going to press Alt Command L, and it's going to launch a REPL for me. Any of these things you can get to in the menus as well. I just prefer learning the keyboard shortcuts. Like if I go to Packages and proto-REPL, you can just click them there, but it also shows the keyboard shortcuts for your operating system. Okay, so now it says that we have a REPL started over in the right pane. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I want to evaluate all the code in the file that I have on the left. So it sets up a namespace, it defines some global variables, it defines some functions, and then eventually it's going to do something with that and and run off and run kind of like a I'll call it like a main function or something, and something cool is going to kind of pop up. So to do that, there's a keyboard shortcut. It's Alt Command F. Actually, psych, it's Shift Alt Command F. And what just happened when I did that is it evaluated, like I said, the code on the left and the REPL on the right, and this particular Clojure project uses a library called Quill that lets you do cool stuff with drawing. It's kind of a fun example because it pops up something fun on the screen, right? So we know that things are working. So that is good. So the other thing that we can do is, I'm going to close this, is you can, other than a whole file, you can just evaluate single blocks of code at a time. So if I come over here and just back up, and I'm just going to say like +1 and 2. And if you're completely new and just getting this set up, you know, in Clojure, you know, we have functions and arguments, or operators and operands. So what that really means is I'm saying, hey, I want to add things together using this plus function, and the things I want to add together are the numbers 1 and 2. So now what I can do is use a keyboard shortcut that, if I get it right, it should be Alt Command B. Cool, I got it. So what that says is, you can think of the Alt command as kind of, it's like the prefix to the command, and then the letter that you type, it tries to match, it's like a mnemonic, it tries to match like what you're going to evaluate. So the Alt Command F is evaluate file. The Alt Command B is evaluate this block of code. So if I had a function there, it's already defined, but like say this draw or this update state function, if I say Alt Command B, you'll see over there on the right, it went ahead and if we had made a change to that function, we could do that, and now that's been evaluated and is updated in the REPL. And then the last example is, we don't have to evaluate the whole file every time, right? So if we want to just launch that kind of, what I was calling kind of that main function again, we can say Alt Command B, and up pops our Welcome to Clojure Bridge Quill app again. So I think that's pretty cool. So that should give you at least a quick rundown. You know, you just install proto-REPL, set that line path, you know, in the settings, and you can open your Clojure code, launch a REPL, and evaluate the file, evaluate functions, change things in your code, and yeah, that's all it takes to get a basic setup to start doing Clojure in Atom. If you have any questions, I'm at ChadHS on Twitter, or you can drop anything you want in the comments for the video. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it.